I'm responsible for is a number of things. Number one, I'm responsible for all the programming that everyone sees on the channels. So there's 6 channels, as you know. There's the Bronx On channel, which is channel 67 Optimum and 33 Fios. There's the BX Omni channel, which is channel 68 Optimum, 34 Fios. There's the BX Culture channel, which is channel 69 Optimum, 35 Fios. Channel 70 Optimum, 36 Fios is the BX Life channel. 951 Optimum, 37 Fios is the Youth channel. And 952 Optimum, 38 Fios is the Civic channel. So all 6 channels have different formats, different types of programming, and I'm responsible for everything that people see on those channels. Basically, I decide what shows end up on TV, what time they end up on TV, and how often they're played, whether or not they get canceled, whether or not we bring it back. I'm also responsible for generating new content as well. So when we have ideas, I'm usually very involved in the process of generating new ideas. When pilots are submitted, I decide whether or not the pilots will go to air.
So basically, everyone should be your friend.
I work for Queens Public Television. My official title is Programming and Access Services Manager. I've been with the company for 32 years, since 1988, but I've been doing, television-related stuff for longer than that. And so basically, my responsibilities fall into 2 different categories. Programming, I'm responsible for the 4 channels, for all the programs that are on the channels, making sure that everyone complies with content regulation. Not so much ours, but local, state, and federal law regarding the types of content that's forbidden, actually. But I'm also responsible for setting up the workshops where we train the community how to produce and direct the programs.
Yeah, public access is basically it's a type of television that allows the community to have a voice, right? So if you are Joe Schmo that doesn't think that they're ever going to get on television, and you're a regular citizen, and you have an opinion or you have a view that you want to get out there to the rest of the public, and you don't know how you're going to do that, and you want to do it in a high quality fashion, right? You want to do it in an efficient, high quality fashion. I mean, you could go do whatever. You could start a podcast. You could go. There are many different avenues. There are many different platforms that you have at your disposal, right?
Right.
And one of them is public access. So you could go be a YouTuber. You could go do whatever. But what's different about BronxNet and public access is that you can learn how to do it in a high quality fashion. It's not just like you can start a YouTube account, but you're not going to know what you're doing necessarily if you've never done TV before, if you've never done video before. So by taking a course at BronxNet, we offer 8-week courses focused on production and also on editing and shooting in the field. So if you take these courses, you can learn how to do what the pros do. It's exactly what the pros do. And with time, you can get better and better and better. You get an introduction to that world through these courses. And you can learn how to put on a show and to get your voice and your opinion and your views out there and on a professional channel. Like we are just like any other network. So you would be part of our programming and you would get a million or more eyeballs. We have 1 million viewers between what's the subscribers that we have in the Bronx and also people that are watching online, because we're also streaming everything on BronxNet.tv.
We are what's used to be called a PEG network, which was government, education. Let's see, is that? Let me see. Let me back up. Public, education, and government.
Right.
So. Access for first and foremost, public access channels, at least ours, exist to bring public meetings to the people so people can participate in their democracy. You can't make it down to the Board of Supervisors meeting. Well, how do you know what's going on at the Board of Supervisors meeting? You watch Access TV. That is our mandate, and that's why we exist. So just to expand, and of course we push that out further in that we have 4 television channels, one solely devoted to education, one solely devoted to government meetings, and 2 that are freeform channels that is solely devoted to content given to us by the public, by residents of Humboldt County. So they can create their own content, put it on the channels for their friends and neighbors, or they can import appropriate material and put it on the channels for everybody to see.
We have what we call field production. That's where we teach you how to use the portable camera equipment so that you can shoot on location.
Okay.
It's a 10-week workshop. It meets once a week. Each session is 3 hours, so it's basically 30 hours. After that, if you like, you can take editing, and we teach you nonlinear editing on Adobe Premiere Pro. Again, it's a 10-week class. Meets once a week. Each class is 3 hours. And then finally, there's studio production, where we teach you how to produce a program in our studio. We have 2 studios, actually.
Okay.
And that can lead to one doing a live telephone call-in where your viewers can interact with you while you're doing the show.
And what are the requirements to sign up for these classes?
Basically, that you live in the borough of Queens. That's it. There is a small fee for training of $85. That's a one-time fee, but everything else after that is free of charge.
The main classes that we offer, or did offer pre-COVID, are studio certification. So we have a television studio here, and a fully stocked, complete television studio, one of the best in the county. We teach people how to use this television studio so they can mount their own productions here. So once they've been certified, they can come back and do their own shows here. So studio production or studio certification, and then field certification. We have a variety of different types of cameras, recording devices, microphones, you name it, that we teach people how to use so they can go out in the field and create their own programs, and then either edit it themselves, or they can come back to our community media center and use one of the 6 computer stations that we have that are stocked with Final Cut Pro and Audacity and other softwares that allow them to create a program.
And one of the things you like, for instance, the classes, how long on average, example, the studio production class?
It is 4 hours long. So we just have one class. I know there are some media centers that break it up into weekly classes, but we do it all in one shot, 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon. So every second Saturday of the month is when we have our classes.
Typically. And how much does this typically cost?
The certification class is $40.
Wow.
And you do need to be a member. But we also work on a sliding scale. It's not, from my perspective as somebody who's training people, I would rather have you come in and learn and give me content, right, than give me the $40. So I'll come to an agreement with people that I'll commit to making 2 hours of content or something along those lines, and I would give them that certification class in exchange for that.
Yeah, I believe field production is 110 and studio is 100. Don't quote me on that.
Right.
But it's
an average of around those prices.
Yeah, it's really cheap, and you can actually you can get a $10 discount if you fill out a survey. So it ends up being a little less than that. And then once it's a one-time fee, you take the courses, you learn what the pros know, and then once you have graduated, you have access to our studios, which are professional grade. And you have access to our equipment, which are professional grade. And that's thousands of dollars worth of, you don't have to go rent a studio.
Right.
You don't have to go rent the camera. That's thousands. And you have access to that in, as long as you're submitting content, as long as you don't fall off on the content, you have access to that forever. Your membership is infinite.
And how come your public access is able to price courses that low, which to me is next to nothing for the courses that you will cover and the access that they get?
Because typically we're nonprofit. Typically public access organizations are nonprofit. Like Bronxite is nonprofit, so we're not in existence to create a profit. So we don't have to charge, this crazy amount to make a profit back.